Good morning, mamas. Welcome to Romanticizing Your Life Postpartum Edition. Today, I want to discuss some of the habits and practices that I have put into place to help set me up for success when it comes to my mental health, physical health, and general health. It really is important postpartum to try and prioritize something that is just for you. As hard as that might seem, and really leaning on your partner or whoever you have around you for help. One of the main things that David and I especially had to practice was expressing our needs, clear communication, because it's so easy postpartum to kind of get lost in the baby and everything post-birth that you feel almost invisible. And that can happen for both mum and dad. So it's super important to take moments to think about what it is that you are lacking in the moment, what it is that you need, and then find a way to communicate and express that very clearly. So I want to talk about one of the ways David and I did this. I also want to talk about supplements and how they have really helped me with my moods, with breastfeeding, and with my general health. I also want to talk about movement and stretching and meditation. I will also touch on breastfeeding and sunlight, which might seem a little bit random, but sunlight is so important. So I'm excited today because this is a topic that is quite fresh as I am 6 months postpartum. So yeah, I don't think there would be any women watching who are in their first 3 months. I don't know, maybe, but I know what it was like for me in those first 3 months. And I definitely wasn't watching YouTube videos. But if there are, I just want to let you know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you will find your rhythm multiple times, in fact. Let's get into it.
In order to romanticize your life postpartum, first you need to take a moment to actually think about what your perfect morning or perfect day would look like, and then express it. Have an open discussion with your partner about all the solutions that you could put into place in order to create that perfect morning. David and I sat together one morning after a really difficult week of no sleep and not having any time to do anything for ourselves. It had drastically impacted our moods, and we needed to bring back some of that romantic gleam into our day-to-day lives. So we're both morning people. It's when we have the most energy, and we love the vibe when there aren't many people around. So we asked each other the same question. What would your perfect morning look like if you could do anything? Our responses: sunlight, movement, stretching, ice bath, meditation, and a chai latte for me and a cappuccino for David. We are both super aligned in the way we desire to live our lives, so it wasn't a surprise our responses were very similar, and gym and stretch is something we used to do together every morning prior to Atlas. David and I then went into solution mode to figure out how we could make this morning come to fruition. And now we have a schedule in place that's super flexible to allow us to have that time to ourselves. It has benefited both of our mental health greatly, and I believe it benefits Atlas to see his parents embodying healthy routines and prioritizing mental health and well-being. Now, it has taken us 6 months postpartum to get to this space, and we don't do it every day, but the days we do it, it has had such a positive impact in our lives and for our relationship. Hear each other out and use it as an opportunity to romanticize your needs together so you both feel seen and heard. I'm like a cat. I am obsessed with sunlight and will find the best spots around the house at all times of the day and find an excuse to do something in that light. The point I'm trying to say and trying to make here is find beauty in the mundane. Let your imagination play. We as mothers sometimes forget we're also autonomous beings, creatures of creation. Find moments for yourself, even if it's letting your mind daydream and not be on the usual high alert. Let your imagination run wild. Okay, but in all seriousness, sunlight also has huge benefits postpartum. Sunshine regulates your circadian rhythm by telling your body when to increase and decrease your melatonin levels. So if you can get sunlight first thing in the morning, I personally try to do this with Atlas for around 10 minutes when it's not too strong. And vitamin D has honestly saved me when it comes to sleep deprivation, which I will talk more about in the supplements section.
One of the first things that I do in the morning after showering is supplements. Romanticize your health. Supplements have seriously saved my life when it comes to breastfeeding, when it comes to sleep deprivation, and when it comes to balancing my moods. With all the different hormone changes going on in your body, it's so important to keep your nutrient and mineral levels up. So I have several supplements that I take every single day. The first 3 that I take in the morning straight away every day is my probiotic. And I lost my lid somewhere, so please ignore the fact that it has no cap. Omega-3 and liquid vitamin D. Now these 2 have saved my life when it comes to sleep deprivation. I exclusively breastfeed, which means during the night I haven't had a block of sleep longer than 3 hours in 6 months. And so many people ask me, how am I still functioning? And I put it down to these 2 bad boys. Seriously, get omega-3, get your fish oil in, and Vit D3 is also so important. These 2 make me feel like I still have a brain because mummy brain is a real thing. During the day, I will take these 2 later in the day, and one is the Women's Balance and the other is a Women's Multi. Now you can continue to use your prenatal vitamin. I know a lot of doctors recommend just continuing to take your prenatal postpartum, and I was, and then I decided that I wanted something a little bit more based for postpartum, if that makes sense. Obviously do what suits your needs. And the other thing that I use, especially when it comes to breastfeeding, because as you know, if you're breastfeeding, you drink a lot of water, and sometimes just plain water isn't enough. You need to get your minerals. So I will have, what is it called? Oh my gosh, talking about baby brain. Electrolytes. I will use a powder and put that in my Yeti cup, which is a giant container, and put that in with my water so that I can get my minerals while I'm hydrating.
I exclusively breastfeed Atlas, and it has been really hard sometimes with not sleeping longer than 3-hour blocks in the last 6 months. But I've really shifted my mindset to savor these moments. I love my one-on-one moments with him and he's growing so fast, and before I know it, he might not want the boob anymore, or something might happen to my milk supply. So I practice in these moments being completely present with him. I made the conscious decision very early on that I would have these moments phone free and 100% dedicated to him. And honestly, it feels so good and helps with mama anxiety a lot. Something I really love doing, especially during a full moon or new moon period, is that I will make a spiritual soup. This is a cleansing, protecting, nourishing bath. I will make one for myself and one for David, and it's just a little way I like to show him love and myself love. After this spiritual soup, I promise you will feel cleansed. It is so fantastic to cleanse your energy if you feel touched out or you've been around too many people. I find it super refreshing. So I will start with lavender for its calming properties, then I'll add some Epsom salt. Now, every mama should use Epsom salt a couple times a month. It has magnesium that is fantastic for re-energizing the muscles. I will use it in the mornings as a little body scrub and it will 100 pick me up. Now the second ingredient, calendula powder. This stuff is magic, great for the skin. I think it is ground marigold flower, but I will have to double check that. When concocting my spiritual soup, I really just go with my first instincts when picking out essential oils, because your intuition knows best, it knows what you need, and I guarantee if you go with your instincts and then check what each essential oil is good for afterwards, it will hit the nail on the head with what your mind, body, soul are yearning for. I will actually put a couple of drops of frankincense and 1/4 teaspoon of calendula powder in Atlas's bath. He has really sensitive skin, so would get heat and fungal rashes all the time, and this combination was great for clearing his skin right up, and he hasn't had anything since. Back to the spiritual soup. Mix your concoction all together. Practice some gratitude and place an intention. Then bathe and marinate until you are ready to come out. Enjoy, mama. Life expands after baby in so many new ways, and it takes time to find your feet on this new path. Don't put pressure on yourself for anything to look or feel a certain way. Take the small wins each day, mama. Sending you love, and thank you for watching. If you'd like more, subscribe.